What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dazzle video. Today we're going to be talking about late game team fights with Dazzle. And today's game, this is a ranked game I played recently where it's a perfect game because we were losing by a lot in the late game. And so I think this is a good chance to review some high ground defense type team fights, but also just general team fights. I think this is a good example of how to play them. We're going to skip ahead in a second, but I just wanted to go through set the stage for you guys, which heroes are playing what position. I'm actually playing position 4 this game. I have a PL position 3, which is a little bit weird. And then the enemy has Jug position 1, Veno position 5. In the mid lane, we have Puck versus Monkey King. And then in our safe lane, we have a safe lane sniper, position 5 Naga, and they have a Pudge 3 and a Rubik 4. Okay, so the game's going to go on. I'm going to skip to about 37 minutes. But first, I want to talk about why Dazzle is good at team fights in general right now. Now, Dazzle is very strong in team fights right now mainly because of his Nalta projection. Okay, he can hex multiple heroes, and then he can continue to safely and pretty reliably right-click that hero, whoever that is. So if they have an offlaner that's a melee, and then either some sort of melee cores, or Puck is kind of a pseudo melee core. She usually jumps in the back line, but there is a high possibility that on that 4th Poison Bloom hit, she gets hexed. That's always a plus. In these late game team fights, Poison Bloom is a very sneaky way to get multiple hexes off in the back line, especially if there's a great Poison Bloom target. Another thing you could do is save your allies from really far away very, very quickly. And the range here, remember guys, is 1600. So you could probably be way over here. I always like to have this circle, boom, around my hero. You can save, and then Jug's gonna have a really hard time getting to you. Puck's gonna have a really hard time getting to you to try and kill your actual hero body. And that leads me to my next part about Dazzle's role in team fights and why he's so strong is he pulls people out of position, right? Because in the old days, when you cast Grave and Monkey is saved, the enemy team is immediately going to kill you because your body would be right around this area, right? So 1,000 range. Back in the last couple of years, this was 1,100 or 1,200, but now it's stuck at 1,000, I think, or is it 900? Okay, 900. All right. So this range, and so the enemy would just come. That's well within blink distance. That's really the key. Is compared to the 1,200 range of blink, Grave range was a lot lower than that. So once in a while, you would have to have bot Ether Lens just to kind of get your Grave off in a safe manner. But nowadays, you don't have to do that. You can just bang, boom, very quickly. And this is so far away. They can't just come and kill you immediately. And then the next thing we're doing is basically spreading weave. So you're doing plus armor for your allies and then minus armor for your enemies. For support dazzles, this is not going to be as good as if you play core, just because you're not going to have a scepter. In the super duper late game, you may have a scepter, and that would be epic in terms of spreading the weave, especially in the late game. This armor does add up over time. So let's say we get a Poison Bloom off, or the Poison Touch off, right? Just for those 2 spells, Pudge is going to have a -5 armor. In the super late game, if you hit level 25, then this kind of gets boosted up a little bit further. So at level 25, it's going to be -9 armor. The plate mail, basically, just by 2 spells. Right, and you're probably going to get another one off, so that's going to be +13 armor. And if you have Ags with maybe inside a creep wave, or maybe you have 2 or 3 melee heroes that are in the game clumped together, you can easily get like minus 40 armor with Ag Scepter. And lastly, Dazzle is very good at casting these team fight items. Okay, and not only are these limited to items that affect the enemy, but also the allies as well. And number one, you can cast them far away, but number two, you can safely walk up and you're not going to ever be slowed, stunned, anything like that. The second thing is, because you are immune to being targeted by anything, Lotus Orbs don't really affect you anymore when casting spells. So for example, casting Orchid on Puck in the past had like a positive and negative impact if there was a Lotus on him, because you would silence yourself and you have some key support spells that you need to get off later on in the team fight. And same thing goes for the range for any of your other team fight spells or team fight items. You can easily get these off without any penalty of positioning. Right now we're 37 minutes into the game. Okay, we are minus 12k net worth, so we're behind 12,000 gold. The enemy's pushing our high ground with Aegis. So they just took Aegis. Their carry, Jug, has the Aegis now. The first thing we need to do is understand our enemies. What our enemies have, which spells and items. In terms of spells, nothing's happened for a long time. So I know the enemy has full spells. All their ults are up. Now we want to look at which items they have. All right, so Rubik's got a Force Staff, defensive item, Ghost Scepter. Pudge has a Blade Mail, no blink. He's got a Veil, and then Ags. Jug has a Swift Blink into Mjolnir, Saint Jinyasha, and Ags. Puck has a Blink, Yules, Parasma, Ags. Okay, and Venno has a Glimmer Cape, a Rod of Atos, and Observers and Sentries. So right off the bat, we want to think about what are the threats on this team that can kill us the quickest, and what are the threats of vision and positioning. So number one, we have a Rod of Atos into Pudge combo. So I cannot stand anywhere inside the range of Rod of Atos. I am just asking to get hooked. As soon as I get Rod of Atos, Pudge is going to land the hook pretty safely because I do not have a Force Staff. Right? And we'll get to my items in a second. The second thing that's going to kill me really quickly is the Swift Blink into Omni Slash or Swift Slash. Okay? If Puck also blinks, she can instantly silence me, and that is going to be a massive problem, so I won't be able to react. So I always have to have vision of Jug, first of all, but if I don't, I always need to be moving my camera back and forth, because if Jug is like smoked, for instance, waiting in the trees over here, or waiting over here in the trees where I can't see him, he can blink while the team fight's going on, the first phase of the team fight, the initiation. If I react to the initiation, my camera's up by the initiation, my body can easily die, my backliners can instantly die. So those are the things I am worried about right now in this game. Next, I want to look at my allies. So I need to make a ranking mentally of which of my allies can take care of themselves for a little bit. There's some allies that are going to die within half a second, and those allies I really need to be watching. But some allies can take care of themselves for a longer period of time, so I can focus on other things. So this is basically, who do I need to babysit? Who do I not need to babysit? Naga, this is my position 5 Naga, has a pipe. She has a glimmer. She has Song of the Siren, she has Net, and then, so she can reliably control heroes on the enemy team, and she has a Dispel. So I don't really have to be keeping my eye on Naga. Naga is fairly tanky, and she has a basic Dispel. Monkey has a BKB. That's a key item that you want to keep track of for your cores. If they have BKB, you don't generally need to be staring at them all the time. They have some time to buy. But if you definitely don't want to let them die before they pop their BKB. Third, we have our PL, who has a Heart and Diffusal Blade and Revenant's Brooch. So Heart makes him pretty survivable on top of already his Doppelganger, which is a basic Dispel similar to Naga. And lastly, we have Sniper. He has less than 2k HP, and he doesn't have a skill that innately makes him survivable. He just has Shadow Blade, which can be countered by Dust, and then Hurricane Pike, which in this game, if someone's on top of him anywhere other than the super backline, he's probably dead. So I gotta make sure, this is my hard carry now, so I have to make sure he is survived. So I'm pretty much gonna be keeping my closest eye on Sniper. The next would be Monkey King, then PL, then Naga. Now the third thing we need to do is assess our own role in this team fight. What are we going to be doing in this team fight? So first off, as all team fights here, I'm looking to be casting my Nalta Projection as soon as the fight starts. The fight can be started by a blink in by Jug. Not really a blink in by Puck. Puck blinking in is not an official start to the team fight because she can easily blink in and out very, very easily on a very low cooldown. But some other more reliable starts to the team fight are Pudge hooking in, Venno casting his ult, or Rubik if he had like a blink or something blinking in. But the main one in this game is Pudge hooking into Dismember. Okay, that is the official start of the team fight. That's when everyone's going to use their spells. That being said, I have a Solar Crest. So I'm generally going to be placing my Solar Crest on 2 heroes, Monkey King and Sniper. My Orchid is going to be most ideally saved for Puck. Orchid is good on Jug if I can get him before he spins. It's good on Rubik if I can get him, or Venno if I can get him. Generally though, in this game, my guess is I'm going to be around my cores, and I'm really not going to have a lot of interaction with Venno or Rubik, their job is also going to be in the back line. But if they come up, I can definitely look to Orchid them as well. So for my Poison Touch, I am looking to Poison Touch Pudge initially as my first target, and I want to try and aim for somebody else in the back line. All right, so either that's Venno in the back line, Rubik in the back line, Jug in the back line, Puck in the back line. And I want to get 4 hits off onto Pudge. I want to see if I can spread the Poison Bloom off of Pudge. Pudge is a very tanky hero. He's not going to die with 4 hits. So he's an ideal Poison Bloom candidate. And I want to always in the back of my head keep in mind to try and spread those as the team fight goes on. And then in terms of positioning, this is a great position for me right here around the tier 4 tower because 1600 range is right around where the high ground ends, and I can safely cast my spells from my projection. All right, so let's get this started here. I want to go to my vision. We'll go at half speed. So I need to back up. All right, so this is the official start of the team fight. They used a big ult, so Puck Coil is not going to be going to waste, and then Pudge popped his Blade Mail. So this is the start of the team fight, and before there's any risk of me getting silenced by Puck, because that would be disastrous. If I got silenced right now without getting my ult off, this would be a massive, like I would probably die. My team would probably die because I wouldn't be able to get my Grave off, but I wouldn't be able to get my projection off. Wouldn't be able to hex anyone, and that would negate like half of what I do in the team fight already. Also, I don't know why my courier is just walking around in the middle of the team fight willy-nilly. All right, so I just cast my Poison Bloom. I canceled the Dismember. Unfortunately, I did not get anyone else. Jug had gone into his Swift Slash, and now my goal right now is to spread the Poison Bloom off of Pudge. So, and then cast my Grave onto PL here. So I'm trying to get the 3 if possible. Again, Jug has spin, so it doesn't hex him, but that would have been a nice Poison Bloom on to the Jug. Okay, so as soon as the 4 hits ends, I'm out. I cancel my ult pretty early because I want to reposition. I know that Jug and Puck know where I am, so I want to be able to reposition. I also got to keep in mind that Venno does have those wards, those sentry wards, observer wards, so I want to try and deward those if possible and try to keep a track of where Venno is during these team fights. Again, I don't know why my courier is just walking around the middle of nowhere. All right, so this is unfortunate. This is like the phase 2 of the team fight. My sniper gets hooked. So immediately I need to, that he is the #1 priority list of the guys I need to grave right away, who's going to die very quickly. So I need to turn around immediately, grave him no matter what, even if I show in the team fight. Boom. And then I got to get ready to Orchid the Puck. However, Puck right now is positioned not in the front line. He's not right in front of me. And I should have turned around a little bit earlier and Orchided the Jug. However, I was a bit slow, and I Orchided him while he was spinning, which, of course, is useless. Not completely useless, but it's pretty useless. Okay, but we are losing, so basically, I'm like, look, I need to cast my spells. This is team fight number 2. Now we're gonna go through the same thing. Let's first look at our opponents. Okay, Rubik now has a blink, so I got to be aware of blink into telekinesis now. Pudge now has a Shivas, full Shivas. So the Shivas into Blade Mail, when Pudge pops those, that's the start of the team fight usually. He's hard committed, and he's coming forward. He's probably not going backwards. Okay, Jug now has the same items, except now he has a lot of Lotuses. Did he have full Mjolnir before? I think he did. Puck now has... Puck also has the same items. Yules, Ags, into Parasma. And then our enemy Venno now has a Vessel. And he has Observers and Sentries. So, fairly simple in terms of the changes. The only thing that changed here is as Rubik has a blink now. So, we are going to try and be aware of that. In terms of our own team, same items on Naga. Same items on Monkey, except for his Mage Slayer. And same items on our PL. And then Sniper, same exact items as well. Still does not have his shard. Oh, PL bought his shard. So this is another survivability item. But in terms of the ranking, it really doesn't change too much. I think PL's new survivability spell is great for when he's like on the map. Usually during team fights like this, they'll probably have some vision, unless he's in like the super duper backline. So I expect Venno to place a sentry and the obs somewhere in the base, probably in this corner here, or if I see him over here in this little area here. So I'll have to keep my eye out for that. In terms of my own items, they're exactly the same, except now I have Arcane Boots. So it's going to play out pretty much the same. I did notice that we had a couple smokes. So smoking can be a very useful thing in the late game. If you have like 3 that you don't think your team is really going to use, you can smoke yourself in the back, and then you can ult, and your ult will not break your smoke. So your body can still be smoked, and sometimes that's useful because if you're fighting under a ward, the enemy can't really see exactly where your body is. So that's pretty nice. And I think we're going to let this play. All right, positioning-wise, I don't want to be anywhere near the sniper. And the reason is Puck's silence. I don't want Puck's coil or Puck's silence to hit both of us at the same time. And also, same thing for Jug. I don't want to get ulted with the same ult that's hitting sniper. So I remember thinking to myself, get away from me, get away from me. And Sniper keeps going where I'm going. So I'm like, get away. And I'm clicking away from Sniper. And he keeps moving towards me. And I'm like, get away from me. Get the hell away from me. Right, but we're not, we're just being patient here. We're not going to cast our ult until we know for sure that the fight has started. What we don't want to do is cast some spells out before. We are not initiating the fights. All right, I think this guy's going to get ulted here. He's going to get dismembered. And he got a little too low, so I get a 3-man poison touch. That's really good, right? So I think it's important to know that I didn't walk in the center and just poison touch as soon as possible. I walked to the side, and I tried to line up as many heroes in my poison touch cone as possible. Okay, another thing I can do here is safely right-click this healing ward, but I can cast my Solar Crest on PL and my Shadow Wave on PL. So I don't know if I actually do that. Let's see what I do here. And here's a good Orchid target. I Orchid the puck. Okay, so we make him use the Yules. And then now puck knows where I am. So I am repositioning because I want to make sure I'm not in the... Puck is going to coil right after this. And she's probably going to get out. So I want to not get in the coil, and I don't want to get blinked on after the coil into Jug spells. All right, so I'm repositioning. I'm waiting to see if Monkey can catch puck. And then I'm keeping an eye on Sniper at the top of my screen. This is not good on me. I'm kind of getting too greedy on like puck. I should be back here by tier 4s. And I want to place a sentry here because Venno was kind of in this area, right? So I could see him placing a ward right here. So I don't want them to have vision. In this game, high ground vision is really important. Whoa! Because they have a Pudge. So I want to make sure they don't have any vision there. And I should be getting another sentry for this little corner here, just in case. But what I can do is click on him and see that he didn't place any of the wards. But I think I'm going to place a sentry here. Maybe not. And it looks like they're going to keep going. They may back away just because they don't have Aegis. Maybe that's going to happen. I kind of forget how this team fight goes. Alright, so for some reason my PL goes in. Alright. Alright, so what I first do... Okay, so I'm here. Let's see, a couple things happened there. So first of all, Jug blinked in and ulted. PL went on the Pudge. And so I lined up my Poison Touch to... And I thought, now that PL committed, they're going to have wards down. PL's about to get dismembered. And he could die instantly. So what I did was I canceled the dismember. And I got an additional 2 Poison Touches on Puck and Venno. One thing that's really cool about Dazzle's ult right now, it's very hard to see him. Like, this is a very annoying, like, color, like, shade. And Dazzle's projection has phased movement. So he's just very kind of, like, weird. He's hard to keep track of in these team fights, which is great for us, right? But, okay, remember, one of our other goals in the team fight is to keep an eye on babysitting Sniper. So Jug blinked in on Sniper. And so let's see if what happens here. Let's see if I'm quick enough. Because like Sniper is basically dead here. Okay. So basically Sniper clicks Shadow Blade just in time. Or else I wouldn't have saved him. And then I'm able to get the Grave off. And then Jug, who choked this, didn't press his dust. Okay. But the combination of our two things helped us here. So his Shadow Blade plus my reaction time was okay enough. All right. So we do manage to save the Sniper, but that reaction time has to be so fast. And, you know, obviously I don't have great reaction time. So I have to know that things are coming before they happen. Okay, so now we're resetting. We're taking a mental note on which of the spells has come out. I don't think we've seen that Puck Coil, and Dismember has a pretty low cooldown, so we have to be aware of that. Now I have to be very careful. Oh my god, what a misplay. Because I don't have my ult. And unfortunately, Rubik stole the Song of the Siren, but Pudge griefed the hook there. Or choked the hook. Thankfully, our Monkey hadn't used BKB yet, but he's getting ulted now through the BKB, so I need to save him through that. And there's just not much I can do here against all this damage. But I'm trying to get 4 hits off on Pudge and spread Poison Bloom. And that's pretty nice. I do have a silence coming up, but I doubt that Puck will be here for me to cast it. Yeah, I'm spam clicking this area. No, maybe not. Well, I should be trying to spam click Puck into Orchid. And I think that's the team fight there. All right. So again, poison bloom targets, poison touch targets, and then reacting as quickly as possible to a blink. Swift slash into Jug ult is a lot of damage very quickly, so that's something that we always have to keep in mind. And now we get to our next team fight. This is 47 minutes into the game. Now we're even further behind. We're 20,000 net worth behind. They took another Roche. They took the second Roche. And now we're going to go through and assess our threats. We have Rubik, who now has Ether Lens on top of his Blink and Force Staff. So again, I still have to be aware of Blink into Telekinesis. I doubt that that's how he'll lead off with the team fight, and that's why I don't have my Shard at this time. If Rubik was more of like a position 3 or a little more farmed, I would have bought my Shard just in case he was initiating with Blink Telekinesis. Pudge still has the same items, so he has the Shivas, Blade Mail into Ags. Now they're all carrying Dust because Sniper has the Shadow Blade. Jug is also carrying Dust. He's got the Swift Blink into Mjolnir, Sanjin Yasha, Ags. And now, what's important to know is another key item is on the field, the Refresher Orb. So that's something we gotta be aware of, is that Jug has Refresher. Puck has the same items, except now he has Octarine Core. Okay, so his spell's going to come out a lot quicker. He still has one survivability item only. He doesn't have Lincolns. He opted for Octarine Core. And then lastly, we have our Venno. Venno has, and now he has a Lotus Orb. But he also still has his Vessel, Glimmer into Rod of Atos. And he has 1 Sentry, 1 Observer. I think Rubik also had, he had 2 Sentries. So that's the enemy. Now let's come to our team. Same items on Naga. We have Abyssal Blade on our Monkey now, which is going to be great to lock down Puck. We have our PL, who now has Scotty. Fantastic. And then our Sniper, who went balls deep, all out, and bought a Rapier. I actually thought this was fairly decent, unless he was hitting this freaking Pudge with Blade Mail. That was my only... I was like, please don't die to just Pudge Blade Mail. For me, my items are going to be the same here. I did not have much farm in the last 7 minutes. So I still do have a smoke, but the main thing here is my role does not change. So I still have to keep an eye on Sniper, especially now that he has Rapier. Because if he dies, not only does our team lose Sniper, but now we most likely will lose the Rapier, and that's probably going to be game. So Sniper cannot die. All right, so I'm going to stay in striking distance of Sniper just in case they all in on the Sniper. All right, so Coil is used, so I'm taking that as a start of the team fight. Now, it's a little, we're on the back foot because Puck has Octarine Core, so her Coil is going to be up a little bit sooner than expected. But I'm looking for Poison Bloom targets, and I think I get 4. A 4-hero Poison Touch. And so now I can start to look to spread it off of Pudge here. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, the crappy thing about Poison Bloom right now is that you need vision when the Poison Bloom spreads. The instant it spreads, you need to have vision of the heroes in order for Poison Bloom to spread. So you got to navigate your projection into a good spot to have vision. I got 1 Poison Bloom off. And then because of the Lotus Orb, I think there's it got dispelled immediately. And there's Pudge trying to hook me, which is great. That's another reason why projection is great, because I'm way out of the range of hooks. And we're consistently trying to reposition. And I'm keeping an eye on Sniper. I'm buying wards because I know Venno has wards, Rubik has sentry wards, and I don't want a ward being placed right here, right? Because this is like Pudge's favorite spot. So I place it, and sure enough, there are Venno just placed the wards. So I ping that out to my team, and no one wants to get it. Sniper doesn't want to hit it because he doesn't want to show. Thankfully, we have some illusion heroes that can just take the wards for us. And we are waiting for the initiation. Now, one of the great things about projection is at level 3, it has a 50-second cooldown. And it lasts for 12 seconds. So you're only going to have to sit around for 30 seconds or so before it's up. I placed this ward here because I want to know where Pudge is. And thankfully, I don't know if Pudge knew I placed this, but he was walking around willy-nilly. And we were able to see him. We get the net on him. I see Jug in the back, which is very important because that's our main threat that's going to kill us quickly. And I'm repositioning away from Sniper again. That's very important because I don't want to get coiled. Okay, I do the projection. I grave my monkey. And I didn't use my silence. But Puck died to Sniper's Rapier and then Monkey King's stun. So Monkey King did a really nice stun there. And once Puck is dead, this is a much harder team fight. That smoke was unnecessary, guys. But you know what? I did it. Alright, but I'm keeping an eye on Sniper, really. Because again, a Sniper cannot die. Sniper cannot die. Thankfully, we have Ensnare Ags, so we were able to control the Jugs through the spin. So we actually scanned the Roche Pit here, and we see that it's scanned red. So there are units here. It's not a guarantee that they're going to take the Roche, but there's enemy units here. So we think that Jug is taking Roche right now. So this is going to be, I think, the last team fight that we'll take. We're still 9k behind, so we caught up a lot. I'm saving for buyback, but my next luxury item is Ags. Because I just need to keep Sniper alive, really. Okay, so let's slow this down here. In terms of the threats, let's take a look here. Now there's an E-Blade on my Rubik, or on the enemy Rubik. He also has an Ags. Probably this was a bad idea because I don't think he has buyback. He shouldn't have bought this Ags, but he bought Ags. Pudge has the same items. Jug has the same items, and he has Refresh Orb. Puck, who just showed bottom and casted his Coil, has the same exact item, except now he has Wind Waker. And then we have the same exact items from last team fight on Venno, just with 2 Observers and 2 Sentries. On our team, we have a Gem now and a Sheep on my position 5 Naga. So really key item to lock down the Puck. Now I can really focus a little bit more on keeping my Sniper alive, who still has the Rapier. And a Daedalus now. Same kind of deal with my PL. He's more survivable with Manta now. And then Monkey has the same items. He has Abyssal. Now he has Ags, actually. I just have to make sure that he stays alive and is able to cast his BKB. All right, so my thought process is pretty much the same here. Keep the Sniper alive. He has the Rapier. And then try to silence the Puck and try and get the Poison Blooms off of Pudge. Now I'm going to smoke myself. This is a high-stakes team fight. And I want to stand on the high ground and then cast my Poison Touch on the low ground. All right, so I'm going to stand here. I'm going to cast my dude onto the low ground. And my dude is going to try and go in. Now, this is not a good Poison Bloom. This is not a good Poison Bloom. Because I needed to wait until okay, that was great. I guess it was good because I put Weave on him. The only good thing that came out of that is I can now spread Poison Blooms off of Roche. All right, but we got a good jump on him, good initiation on him. And right now, guys, so Jug bought back right away. And by the time he comes in here, my thing's going to end. So I just need to back out and reposition. I think Sniper's in a bad spot here. Because remember, Jug has Refresher ult. So unless Pucks jumps in here and I can silence her immediately, which is not going to happen, I need to back out. And I immediately realize Monkey is in a really bad spot here. So I probably need to grave this guy because Jug is probably going to blink ult Monkey right now. And there he is. We got to grave him. Good grave on the monkey. I probably should back out immediately or pick up some of these items on the ground. It's kind of a unique situation. Oh my god, I almost choked that save there. But my Shadow Wave just saves the Naga. And her sleep puts all to sleep. I should walk in and try and grab these, but it's just such a... It's a risky spot because Pudge is still alive. He can hook me in this pit. There's the... I forget who I casted Orchid on, but I probably panic casted it on Jug or something like that. And there's the reveal of the sheep. And then Puck is in danger of dying here. She does have the Wind Waker, though. So she's probably going to use it. That was not a good poison touch by me. Right? I should have waited until she's going to use Wind Waker. She's obviously going to use Wind Waker. So I shouldn't have cast that poison touch. She was going to dispel it anyway. So I should have waited until her Wind Waker is up. The only thing I tried to do there was get some weave stacks on her. But it's a good thing I knew in my head that Sniper is my #1 save target. Right? So I'm able to save Sniper here. Boom. Okay, I'm going to make them waste a Swift Slash and maybe even an Omni. And then Pudge is going to waste his ult. And if I had been just willy-nilly standing next to my Sniper here, I would have been dead. I wouldn't have been able to save Sniper. And 2 of our heroes would have been dead instantly. Thankfully, we took that Roche. Sniper is coming back. And I need to cast my E, if possible. And I need to be aware of Puck coming in the back line so I can silence her. It would be great if I had some sentry wards I can put down, because Venos probably put down his observers to try and win this team fight. Nice. Okay, so just in case Jug and Puck came in, I ulted, just because it's so high stakes now. Winning and losing team fights is probably the game. So I stood on the high ground and I pressed my spells. All right. This might be it. All right, guys. So here's the kind of the graphs for this game. As you can see, it's a nice high-level game. I had a great time in this game. One thing I'm always proud of is being #1 in the wards support items purchased. So that's always nice to see. That's always something I try and check if I'm playing support. Was I consistent on buying support items for my team? Vision. Controlling the vision as Dazzle is very important, and I think that's a key aspect of all team fights, not just the late game ones. So, all right, guys, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.